What's going on, guys? Today we're watching the trailer for Star Wars Zero Company. Guys, Star Wars is one of those things where I feel like it's pretty much always been like either it's gonna hit pretty well or it's gonna miss quite terribly, just across the board, right? So let's see if this looks like it's gonna hit or if it looks like it's gonna miss. Not all images appear in game.
People talk about the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
They talk about the big moments. The crisis points. Planetary invasions. All-out assaults. Cities bombed or rubble. Truth is, there's a war you don't see.
Oh, we're dropping the little guys. Oh, is this like a tactical
Shadows. The war beneath the war.
for the game?
A war that's won with the right strategy.
Gonna be like a turn-based sort of a strategy game, maybe?
Ciphers. Good old-fashioned sabotage.
Dang, they got bombs and shit.
These aren't the heroes they tell stories about.
Dang.
They're professionals. Setting aside their differences to take on the impossible.
Oh, these characters look interesting, actually. It looks kind of interesting, I'm not gonna lie.
But that's the job, and they get it done.
Oh, they got a Jedi on their team too? Oh shit. Oh, I'm glad that they're showing some gameplay. All right, I actually like this. I'm actually liking that. All right, guys, I'm gonna give that like a soft 8 out of 10. The cinematics probably was hands down my favorite part, but I like that I was able to accurately guess what kind of game it's going to be. It looks interesting. I think a Star Wars game that's kind of like a turn-based sort of tactical game, I think sounds pretty fun. Sounds like unlike any Star Wars game that I've played or seen in recent time. Maybe way back in like the PlayStation 2 days or something. Maybe something like that existed. But not that I've seen. But I'm also not like the biggest Star Wars guy. Like I've seen a lot of Star Wars, played Star Wars, but there's also a lot of Star Wars stuff that I have never experienced at the same time. But this looks pretty interesting. I will be excited to see more gameplay in the future. It doesn't come out to 2026. We got time to cook. I like what I saw. It looked like there's a bunch of different abilities you could use. Looked like they had different people from different backgrounds on that team. I'm curious if it's a fixed roster of people that you play with, or if there's like a large roster of like people you can, like, you know, some games like you collect other teammates as you go along in tactical games, and then some die and then you lose them forever or can get them back somehow. I'm curious, like, if we're just gonna have a fixed roster and the story is about them, or what it's gonna be like. Are we just gonna be like a rotating roster rather? I don't know. I got a lot of questions, but also look pretty interesting. I'll give the trailer like a light 8 out of 10. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that a lot. Let me know, guys, if this game looks interesting to you. Not playing necessarily as one of the big main, Jedis who this whole like story is going to completely, revolve around. It's not going to be like based off like a movie necessarily, although it's like, around the Clone Wars or during the Clone Wars, but just another potentially band of just kind of no names, right? At least people who were insignificant in the story, in the sense of like, you're not like, you're not going to be a Skywalker or somebody, you know what I mean? or be in direct contact with the like in like the Force Unleashed. Like it's not like you're like standing next to Darth Vader at times, right? Maybe you will be, but it doesn't seem like it. They specifically made it sound like you're going to be, not really on the same, on the same wavelength of those characters, which I like. I think that gives them more room to have like a real story. Once you start talking about Skywalkers and stuff like that, I feel like you get pretty much held into a very tight sort of like you can't do a whole lot of moving, otherwise everyone who loves Star Wars will hate you if you deviate. So I like it if they just stick to people who we don't know, won't even walk next to Darth Vader, be in the same room as Darth Vader or anything like that. Not because I don't love Darth Vader, I do, but I think maybe being too close, like well-known Star Wars characters might limit what they could do with with a Star Wars game or story. So I'm curious about it, guys. Let me know in the comments below if you're looking forward to Star Wars Zero Company. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.